Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mike Kollin at crackedfemalcode.com. Alright, so this is just a clip of one of my old fighting videos. I'm in the white t-shirt, and the other guy, Randy, he sent me this video about, I think, 6 months ago or so. That's my former coach, Jacob Stitch Duran. He's a world-famous cut man. And we are training in his studio in this video. Alright, so I'm just going to let this video play while I'm talking about one real simple yet really powerful key to, I don't know if I want to say attracting women or allowing a woman to feel really not only comfortable with you, but to open the door to her to not only feel comfortable, but to want to talk to you more and gain more attraction towards you. Alright, so men and women have two different basic communication styles. Oh, just to be clear about this video, this is an old video of me a long time ago. I'm not that young anymore, so it's an old video from a long time ago, and we were getting ready for a fight. We were probably about 8 days or 10 days out from the fight. So we're starting to train down, meaning we're not really trying to take each other's head off right now at this point. So it's a very light sparring. Alright, I'm going to cut the video off here because I think it's kind of distracting, so hold on. And the music's going to go down in about 10 seconds. Okay, so in the last few videos, I've made it really clear that to a woman, communication is everything. Now, here's the secret, and I've said it in videos, but I'm going to make it really short in this video, okay? So, the reason why communication is so important to women is because her mating system has a nerve that curves off to the right brains, which is the female brain's communication center. So communication is directly connected to her mating system, which means that's how you trigger, stimulate, and turn on her mating system. So when a woman says, you know, I don't get my needs met in this relationship, or my husband or this guy doesn't meet my needs, she's not talking about sexual, physical needs touching her body in a certain way. Now, to most men, they're like, what are you talking about? Because our system is all about the external world. The left brain is the external linear processor, meaning we focus outside of our body. As I've said, our mating system is connected to the optic nerve, which is connected to our eyes, looking outside on the outside of her body. We're not so focused on emotions and feelings and how she's feeling on the inside. All we know is, damn, her tits are nice, man. Wow, she's cute. She's got a nice ass. Wow. That's all external. Now, the reason why this offends women and pisses women off, because you're like, well, wait a minute, but so why does she wear high heels to pump her butt up in the air like that? Why does she wear short skirts, and why does she put makeup on and have this revealing dress or this revealing, you know, low-cut shirt? Because women are smart enough to realize, like, this communication shit doesn't work with men, so I got to figure this out. And they do. They figure it out really fast. At a young age, I mean. So they're hoping that one day you're going to figure out how to meet their needs. Now here's the deal. This sounds all proper. It's really not. It is really XXX rated, seductive, sexy. It is. But okay, watch this. The way women get turned on is through communication. I'm pointing to my ear. Believe it or not, but you can not only make a woman wet, you can make her have an orgasm simply by communicating in this step-by-step process. Once you learn how to master this, okay? It's not that hard to do, but it does take some time and some practice. I'll give you a real-life example. I was with this Japanese lady at Davis, UC Davis in California, and we were at a coffee shop, and she goes, no, not here, not now. And then she recommended a place we could go to. We ended up going to a different coffee shop, which had this area which was much more private. There was like this one table which was kind of behind this little thing. And then from there, she invited me over to her place. Words can turn women on sexually. I didn't touch her one time. We were sitting on the opposite sides of the table. We weren't even playing footsies. And this was the first date that we had. It was the first time I met her. There is a hidden form of it's not just communication in words, it's body language, it's tone, it's tempo, it's all these things put together. And I'm going to give you one or maybe actually 3 different tips in this video that's going to give you an idea of where we're going with this. This language is a hidden language. It's done symbolically. So you might be talking about some artist painting or an image of the Golden Gate Bridge, but you're not talking about the Golden Gate Bridge. You're not talking about the painting. You're using this indirect language to talk about XXX rated sexual stuff. Now, this is what I teach in my course. Now here's the really, okay, watch this. Here's the really weird, bizarre thing. The male brain is the direct brain. The female brain is the indirect brain. If you do these things directly, it is going to offend the crap out of her. Now here's the odd thing. If you say the same thing, but you do it in the indirect hidden language, you are considered respectful, honorable, likable. They'll tell their parents about you. They'll tell their girlfriends about the way you said this. Oh my God, can you believe you said that in this way? See, women are always telling men, it's the way you say it. It's the way you do it. And they mean the indirect hidden way, which is what I teach in my course. Now, most men growing up, teenage years, and even 20s and 30s, women are always yelling at us. And they're like, oh my God, how rude, how crude. You're like, well, what are you talking about? And so we get punished simply for just speaking our normal language, the male external linear language, even when we're not talking about sex. Oh, you're so pushy. Oh, you're so this. Oh, you're so that. And you're like, what are you talking about? See, the male language is the push energy. It's the push language. So anytime we use that language, we are being pushy, but we don't know it because this is all we know. And men as a whole, when it comes to women, we're so confused because we're trying to be proper, we're trying to be polite, we're like, I don't understand. And then on the other hand, when we are proper and polite, we're told that we're too nice, we're too proper, we're too polite because she wants to be seduced, she wants to be romanced. So there is a combination of confusing things going on because you don't see it from the other side. And that's what my course is the mastery of. It's all about getting you to the other side of the fence. And I promise you, when you see it from the other side of the fence, from the other perspective, everything, and I mean everything, will make sense. You're even going to look back and realize why women got so upset at some of the things that you thought were totally normal, neutral, and nice. Like a lot of guys, the way you try to be polite, the way you try to be good, in the female brain, it is just disrespectful. And they're like, why are they doing that? And the only reason is these are 2 different systems. You know, it's like kind of going to another country and they have different laws and different rules. And you're like, well, that's not right because where I come from, that's not the way it works. So, well, that's, you got to understand you're going to a different country. If you want to function well in that country, you have to learn their system. And women do have a system. Now, here's the thing. It will give you social power. It'll increase your sales. A lot of clients will call me back months later and go, Mike, I'm applying this stuff to my sales. I'm like, yeah. Absolutely. It'll also give you power in dating, relationships, romance, love, and seduction power. Women will come to you instead of you having to chase them. Now, here's one more benefit. One thing that women find very attractive in men is when they have options. When there's a system, a way of doing this that will attract women to you. So when you're out in public, you could be at a coffee shop sitting at a table by yourself, and the women in the room will notice all the other women glancing over at you, and some of them are trying to talk to you, someone will bump into your table, someone will glance at you from across the room. They'll see this, and they're like, okay, I need to go meet that guy, because that guy has options. The other thing is, okay, I'm dating a young girl, she's in her 20s right now. We're walking down the street in San Francisco, and all these women are staring at me. And I mean young women. They're just like locked on staring at me. And she's like, wow, that's pretty rude. I'm like, what? She goes, they're literally just like staring. I'm like, oh yeah, I get that a lot. That makes her more interested. Now here's the other benefit to this. When you have options, suddenly you don't have to put up with women's bullshit. You know how a lot of these courses called Stoicism and Be Stoic. They're teaching you the wrong thing. It's like they're teaching you to fake. Well, you know, just it's kind of like little bitches who have no fucking power, who are trying to do it from the wrong system. You're trying to do it from the linear system versus reality. Here's what I mean. If you've got 10 women chasing you, and 3 of them are fucking hot, and then 2 more are probably above average, why would you deal with this person's bullshit? A woman can feel that. A woman can feel the difference and hear the difference in your voice and see the difference in your body language when you legitimately have options versus a guy who's saying, oh, I'm not going to put up with this disrespect. I'm not going to put up with this. I have rules and I have self-respect and self-esteem. Women can see right through that bullshit. All right, before we get to the lesson, I'm going to give you one last example on that. Let's say you, okay, like my neighbor, he's got a car detailing business, okay? He's doing really well, pays all his bills, just he's doing really, really fucking well, and he charges a lot of money. I was like, holy shit, how much do you charge? He's charging like $400 per car, and if it's a more expensive car, he charges more. Now, we live in a very wealthy area, so people have Ferraris and all that stuff here. The point being is he charges a lot of money. He comes home from work every night after 11 o'clock at night. That's how fucking busy this guy is. So let's say he charges for normal detailing $300 to do a car, okay? Not without going above and beyond doing extra stuff for an extra $100 or whatever he charges doing all this other stuff. So you come in, you bring your car in, and you're, come on, man, give me a deal, bro. Come on, man, give me a deal. Now, mind you, this guy has cars backed up. He works till almost midnight every night because he is trying to keep up with his business. So let's say he says, yeah, okay, man, I'll give you a deal. I'll do your car for $125. Says, I'm going to give you the basic package, which is normally $300, but I'm not going to do A, B, and C because, you know, that's material that I have to spend money on, etc. And you're like, yeah, okay, man, okay. So he starts doing your car, and you start getting picky, like, hey, man, aren't you going to do this? And hey, man, aren't you going to do that? And after a while, he's like, yo, bro, I'm giving you a super fucking deal. Shut the fuck up. You can feel the realness in that because you can see there's 5 people in line waiting for their car to get done next. But not even that, you can just hear it in his voice. You can see it in his face, in his eyes. It's real. So you give him so much shit. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with you, dude. Here, take your damn keys and get your car the fuck out of here. Don't pay me nothing. Just take it all for free. Because he doesn't need your business. Because the next guy behind you, he's easily going to pay the minimum $300. These stoic groups are basically kind of like 12-step programs, or they're like Alcoholics Anonymous. Everyone is making up excuses. Yeah, it's not you, man. It's her, women this and women that. It means you have no power. It means you don't understand women. You don't truly know how to seduce women. You thought it was money. You thought it was buying a Ferrari. None of this. All this is nothing but a sugar high to a woman. And it goes away literally as fast as the sugar taste goes away in her mouth. There's a much, much, much better way to get out of the confusion and learn the code of what she's really looking for. Now, last thing I'm going to say about this is not taught in any other course. Tony Robbins isn't aware of it, Dr. John Gray, the pickup artist. By the way, the pickup artist courses, 100% of my clients that come to me after they study those courses for 5, 10, 15 years are like, this isn't a pickup artist course. This is like the complete opposite. I'm like, yeah, this is the course that is designed to trigger the female's mating system, not the male's. Pickup artist courses are teaching logical, linear, male trigger things because your brain goes, yeah, that's right. That's the way I would be. That's the way I am. But that's not the way she's wired. She's wired in the opposite way than you are. One piece, and it's only one piece, as I've mentioned before. Your mating system is visual, so I'm going to point to my eyes. That's what turns on a man. Visual, external. Her system is the auditory, internal system that goes inside her body. If you want to put your penis inside her body, you have to learn the auditory, internal communication system. Once you get that down, it's not a problem. Okay, let's get into the teaching for this video. So here's the deal. men and women communicate differently. This is just one piece. This is not all of it. Do not think like, oh, this is, but if you can learn one piece here, one piece there, and practice it, and then come in and take the training, you're going to fly through the training and learn a lot more than guys who start out from scratch. Okay, so this is what, there's some pieces I will give away because number one, you can learn them and you can practice them. A lot of things I have to teach you in person. Like there's a guy at the store for 30 minutes. I was trying to teach him this one piece and he still didn't get it. It is hard to teach some of these pieces to the male brain. This is why it's imperative to train you in person. Okay, this is one sliver of one piece. Men and women communicate in two different ways. I'm not talking about the language or all the other stuff. I'm talking about the way. And this is just one piece, okay? Don't think it's everything. So men communicate in very, very short words or phrases. And then I'll say to women, and if you're lucky, you get a whole sentence. Oh, by the way, this is a girl that I know who lives in Tunisia, a young woman. Okay, so normally I write this down and show it to you in person because men tend to be visual and they learn this stuff. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a stick figure of a guy on the left. Actually, this is from my course. The left is the male, the right is the female. But let's imagine they're two men, okay? So this is from my manual. So when I say that to women, I say men speak in a single word, a phrase, or if you're lucky, a whole sentence. Women crack up. They're like, oh, God, it's so true. Men are just so point A to point B. It's so irritating, and men don't communicate, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what do you mean? I just said two words. I communicated to you. That is not communication. A sentence is not communication. So here's how it works between men. They go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's really fucking irritating. It is insanely irritating because men are impatient. Because men are all, I want to get there fast. I want to get there now. I want to get there now. That mentality will actually make it a lot longer. Like we're talking months. Whereas if you do it the right way, it could take 45 minutes. So which is faster? 2 months, 3 months, or 45 minutes? All right. So here's how two guys will talk. Guy A, blah, blah, blah. Guy B, blah, blah, blah. Guy A, blah, blah, blah. Guy B, blah, blah, blah. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Here's how two women will talk. Woman A, blah, 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 blah. They speak in paragraphs, even half chapters or chapters if need be. And here's what, now watch this. This is the really interesting thing. Here's what the other woman will do. She will, now listen closely because this is like my number one technique for men. She will literally shut the fuck up. Now here's the mind blower. You're not going to believe what she does next. She listens to understand. So the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, you won't understand each other. I've been on job sites, construction sites. I've been on, worked for a sheetrocker for a while, and I did carpet. You would hear these guys scream back and forth, God damn it, motherfucker, blah, blah, just do this, blah, blah, back and forth, and they had the same discussion for 3 or 4 hours a day. They had the same discussion the next day, then the next, and like, God damn it, I thought we already talked about this. And here's the deal. Nobody, I know this is good, I know this is mind-blowing. Nobody's listening to each other. And this is why these people who go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, constantly interrupting each other, and neither one listens, they refuse to actually shut the fuck up and listen to, oh my God, my shocker, to understand. Listening to understand is your power. I promise you. I know it sounds like, what are you talking about? I am telling you, you want to move up the ladder. You want people to respect you. You want to get better jobs. You want to move up the ladder in that industry, in that business, in that corporation. Master the art, and I'm not joking. I'm serious. Master the art of shutting the fuck up. Now you guys are probably laughing, thinking I'm being funny. No, this literally, for my course, this is the first technique, the master technique that you must master or you cannot move forward. The second piece is mastering the art of listening to actually understanding. Let me break this down for you just a little bit here, okay? These two pieces, if you can do these two pieces, women will enjoy conversations with you. They will want to talk to you. They'll even call you up, even if they're not sexually interested in you, just because they want to have a conversation where someone actually actually shuts the F up and actually listens to them and then understands them. Now watch what I mean. And by the way, they will become very sexually attracted to you if you do this, okay? So when I tell a lot of men to shut the fuck up, they're like, oh, okay, I can keep my mouth shut. No, that's not what I said. I said shut the fuck up. Here's what I mean. What I mean is you need to quiet your mind and you need to quiet your heart in your chest area. There are actual techniques that I will teach you in person during the course that we will walk you through again and again and again to silence your mind more and more, to silence your heart area, your energy in your heart and your solar plexus area, to where all of a sudden you begin to open up like an empty cup. This is what Bruce Lee meant when he said, empty your mind. And he said, be like a cup or something like that. You know, water goes into the cup. In other words, he goes, empty your mind, be like an empty cup. So then you can receive new information. Completely, fully, and wholly. Therefore, you can actually understand what the fuck someone is saying to you. See, a lot of guys are like, well, the reason why I interrupt is I'm letting them know that I'm listening to them. I'm like, did you just hear what you just said? So you're interrupting her? Why? Well, I'm going to tell her what she's trying to tell me. That way she's going to know that I'm listening. I'm like, dude, you're literally interrupting her. That's not listening. Number two, so are you telling me that you're thinking and trying to figure out what she's trying to say to you? He goes, yeah. He goes, that way she'll know I'm actually listening. No, dude. The minute you start to think is the minute you just closed off from listening. If you're thinking, then your cup is already full and you can't put any more water in it. This is why Bruce Lee says, empty your mind, be like a cup. You know, I should Google that and pull it up. But the point being is, if you have an empty cup, you can receive what someone's trying to say to you, and then you can understand them because all the pieces will be put together. If you're constantly thinking of what she's saying, thinking about how she said it, thinking of, okay, here's what a lot of guys will say, yeah, but Mike, but what if I get like an idea, an inspiration, like a thought about what I want to say next? I go, you literally just cut off communication. You literally interrupted her, what she's saying. He goes, but I didn't say anything. The minute you have a thought in your brain, the minute you have a thought or an emotion or energy in your heart is the minute you just interrupted communication. See, I could have told you like all these other videos on YouTube, all these shorts, and even women, like, you know, you need to be a good listener. See, if you just be a good listener and stop talking and let her talk, blah, blah, but it doesn't, they don't actually teach you how to be a good listener. The old school way in the 80s was repeat back to them what they said to you. And this is what therapists did all the time. And also people that were, you know, doing communication things and teaching people how to have better relationships. Well, just repeat back to them in your own way what they already said. It's like that is not effective listening skills. All right, let me do a comparison or contrast. If you let someone, whether it's a woman or a business associate or a client, whatever, talk and let them give you all the details, you're going to have 90 to 99%, maybe even 100% of everything they said. But you might miss one piece or two pieces or even three pieces. So now all you have to do is ask one or two questions or three questions and boom, you understand everything. But if you're doing the male wave, interrupt, back and forth, interrupt, nobody's understanding anything. So you have nothing. You might have 1% and missing 99% of the communication. I have seen guys not only on job sites but in relationships with their wives just getting these screaming matches for days, weeks, even months about the exact same thing, going, I understand what you're saying, you're not understanding me, blah. And next thing you know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks have gone by and then this guy in the construction site goes, God damn it, I fucking said blah. And the other guy goes, well, why didn't you say that 2 weeks ago? He's like, I fucking did. But you didn't hear them because you weren't listening. So you had this conversation that could have ended literally in 7 minutes or 15 minutes if you would have just shut the fuck up and actually listened to understand what they were saying in the first place. So a lot of guys go, yeah, but it's quicker if we go back and forth. But no, it's not quicker. You could have understood something in the first conversation, in one conversation, versus I am telling you, I've been on a job site where literally it was 3 weeks later and they finally understood each other. And I remember trying to interrupt and look, what he's trying to say is, shut the fuck up, Mike. You're not in this conversation. All right, man. And I'm sitting there watching these guys argue over something that both of them don't understand, thinking, well, this is the faster way. Really? Really? 3 weeks later and you finally understood each other? Yeah, that's not the faster way. Sure, the RPMs are maxing out at 5 or 8 grand or whatever it is in your car, but the thing is, you're spinning in circles. You're getting nowhere. Now, if you want to learn the techniques, or at least a few techniques, to begin to truly quiet your mind, I'm willing to do a package. Normally I charge $250 per session, but I tell you what, I'll do a package of 3 sessions at $125 per session. So what's that? $375 for 3 sessions. And these sessions will last about 2 hours or a little bit more. So put plenty of time aside just in case we go over. So not only that, but learning these steps one by one before you take the course, it'll be a huge break on your brain, because a lot of guys, when they learn this stuff, it's so mind-blowing. Some guys, it's called cognitive dissonance. They will have a nervous breakdown. They will break down. They will cry. And I'll say, hey, let's take the rest of the day off. Go back to your hotel. Just rest. Eat something good. Because this is so opposite of the way men think. It'll blow your... Now, what I'm teaching you today, this is just baby steps. And I mean baby steps. Okay, I'll give you something right now. Here's a tip. When the other person, let's say in this case the woman, is talking, what I want you to do is bring your awareness back inside. So here's what I mean. Just begin to notice your solar plexus area. And then imagine going inside about 3-4 inches and notice the ball the size of, say, a baseball inside your gut. Allow your awareness to be down there or in your heart if you want. And the other thing I want you to do while she's talking is, while you have this internal awareness, I want you to breathe in your nose, hold it for a second or two, and then breathe out. What this does is it oxygenates your body, and on an unconscious level, she has a system that gains rapport, okay? We all have systems to gain rapport. So if you're breathing while she's talking, she'll start to breathe a little bit deeper as well. Now, what this does is it oxygenates your bloodstream. When you have extra oxygen in your bloodstream, your body begins to relax. And guess what's going to happen to her? Her body is going to begin to relax. And now she's going to feel comfortable with you. This also works in business deals, in sales. See, the male brain, it wants to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. The problem is, when you're breathing fast, talking fast, you put people in a freaking panic state. You put people in an anxiety state, in a fear state. And this freaks people out, and especially women, because women are really in tune with their body and their emotions. If they start to feel panicked or scared, they don't even need to know why. They're just like, I'm out of here. And they connect that with you. You don't want them to make that fearful connection. You want them to begin to relax while they're having conversations with you. If you're constantly interrupting her, trust me, she's not going to relax. She's going to get uptight. Now here's another tip. When a woman is talking, literally do this breathing technique with this internal awareness and just begin to count, like 1001, 1002, 1003. Even when a woman pauses, because most men, I want to get from here to there fast. I got to get my conversation in. I got to put my 2 pieces in. You're waiting for them to stop talking, so you can just jam in there and talk really fast. Don't do that. When someone finishes talking, take a deep breath in your nose, blow out your mouth, and then count 1001, 1002, 1003. Okay? Because a lot of time people will pause to reflect, to think, to gather information, and then they'll talk again to put the pieces together. If you interrupt them every time they... See, sometimes men are so fast that even if a woman or even another person you're talking to, a man, is just trying to take a breath, you interrupt and you start talking really fast. Do not do that anymore. Stop doing that. I'm going to give you another tip. Something that men completely miss. Men think I'm going to get her excited. I'm going to talk fast. They used to have these drinks where they had like energy drinks mixed with beer or liquor. You could buy them to liquor stores, or they're making like these drinks at the clubs with Red Bull put in them, and you're getting all fired up. Yeah, I'm brave. What it does is it makes you go fast. When you go fast, when you interrupt, when you talk fast, when you make that fast energy, it tightens her up. I know this is going to sound bizarre. You want to slow all the way down to zero to where you got your car in park, you have the emergency brake on, and you turn the car off. That's what you want. You want to completely slow down. Now here's why. Because then her brain will begin to open up. Now think of it this way. If her vagina is tight and closed, she's not going to have sex with you. If her body is tight and stressed and nervous, it makes her vagina tight and closed, and therefore she's not going to want to have sex. If you can begin to breathe deeper and deeper throughout the conversation and slow yourself down, if you can quiet your mind, which is, by the way, techniques I learned from the Buddhist monks. Why? Because me and my ex-girlfriend were fighting a lot and I couldn't figure it out. So they had me learn how to meditate and do all these relaxation techniques that I will pass on to you. Some of them, though, I learned during NLP trainings from energy healing, etc., etc. See, the one thing you have to understand about women is they are very connected to their body like horses. That's why women and horses are very skittish. You have got to create a relaxing, calm environment where she can breathe deep and her body can relax. If she can open up mentally and emotionally, then she'll have sex with you physically. I literally want you to be the champion in this area, because here's the deal. If you win, she wins. She wants you to win. She doesn't want you to lose. Because if you're winning, all of a sudden she's getting all of these benefits. And the other thing it does to you, for you, is it gives you social power, so you can do much better in life, business, etc., etc. A woman's mating system is designed and hardwired to be triggered to get turned on and attracted to a man who understands these things that I teach in my course, like quieting your mind, listening to understand, shutting the F up, creating space. That's another subject which we'll talk about in another video. Alright guys, my recommendation right now is at the very minimum, buy my book, Crack the Female Code, to get started, to prepare you for my course. Better yet, buy the ultimate package at crackthefemalecode.com. Alright guys, if you like this video, click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and buy one of my books. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.